Okay, let's look at this word problem here. A plumber and his assistant work together to replace the pipes in an old house. The plumber charges $45 an hour for his own labor and $25 an, okay, this was supposed to say hour as well. Sorry about that, an hour, for his assistant's labor. The plumber works twice as long as his assistant on the job, and the labor charge on the final bill is $4,025. Follow the steps to find how long the plumber and his assistant worked on the job. So first, we're going to choose a variable to stand for how long the plumber worked. I guess this is in hours, so maybe I'll just use like H for hours. Okay, or maybe I'll use P for plumber. Let's do that. P for plumber. All right, what would the charge for that many hours of the plumber's work be in terms of the variable? The variable meaning P. So your answer here should have P in it. Okay, so if he worked P hours, the plumber charges $45 an hour for his own labor. So we're going to use, oops, I drew the arrow to the wrong place. We're going to use that information right here. And we're also going to use our P variable. So if you work for P hours and you're charging $45 an hour, it's just going to be multiplying those two things together, 45P. Okay, now how long did the assistant work in terms of the variable? So we're not assigning a new variable, we're sticking with P. And we've got to somehow put how long the assistant worked in terms of P. So going back to the problem, this information is coming from right here. So the plumber works twice as long as his assistant. So if the plumber worked twice as long as the assistant, then how long did the assistant work? I think it should be half of what the plumber worked, right? So this is going to be 1/2 P. Yeah. All right. So moving along, what would the charge for that many hours of the assistant's work be in terms of the variable? So we need to see what the assistant charges for his labor. Assistant charges $25 an hour. So we're going to use that, and we're going to put that together with the number of hours that the assistant worked. So the assistant worked 1/2 P hours, charging $25 an hour. Then we're just multiplying those things together. No matter how weird they are, just pretend like they're regular old numbers. Multiply the number of hours times the charge per hour. Okay, so now write an equation saying that the total labor charge was $4,025. Okay, so this right here, I can see the charge was 4025, means my equation is going to be equal to 4025. And now where is that charge coming from? Well, it's coming from the plumber's charge and the assistant's charge. Okay, so the plumber charges, we have that information right here. And then the assistant charge, we have that information right there. So we're just adding those charges together. 45P plus 25 times 1/2 P. And that's going to give us our 4025. Okay, so just follow the same operations that you would use if you actually knew how many hours it was. And now we got to solve for the variable. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this equation, 45P, and I'm going to multiply 25 times 1/2. I think that's 1250. And so this is not a very hard one to solve, because I don't have anything to do but to combine these two coefficients on P here. So 45 plus 12.5, I think that's 57.5 P equals 4025. And then I'm just dividing both sides by 57.5. Oh, I can't do that one in my head. So let me get a calculator and do that. Okay, so I am getting that P equals 70. That's a lot of work. No wonder it was so expensive. 2 full weeks of work. All right, so how many hours did the plumber work and how many did the assistant work? So going back to what is P again? P is the variable for how long the plumber worked. So plumber worked plum. Oh, I can't spell plum. This B thing comes from the Latin, I think. So the plumber worked 70 hours, and then the assistant, the plumber worked twice as long as the assistant, I remember, so this should be 35 hours. Okay, and that's it.